I'd be doing this myself.
She's definitely wondering. She's also thinking,
Stay up a little later, so like their first game Saturday. Last year they went. And so, you know, that was good.
There you go. He said he knew. He said he knew for 2 weeks. Well, there was something else. Yeah, there was something else. That Aiden said yesterday. Yeah. I don't know. When they had the hot dog sale, they just brought everything back here. Sorry. I'm going to start calling you right now.
Okay.
Welcome to the club.
Rebecca's home.
One of our
Well, David's celebrating the week.
Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to be mindful of your time. My name is Paula Potter. I'm now the superintendent for Kanawha County Schools, and you all are the first town hall meeting. I wasn't sure anyone would come. I wasn't really sure what to expect, but we felt like it might be a good time to just have an open dialogue since I'm starting new in this role, and see if there are any suggestions, concerns, comments that you want to make, and so that I do have my cell phone out. And I'm going to take notes on it in case you say something so I don't forget. But I really don't have an agenda to give you because I really wanted it to be you and not me talking today, and give you an opportunity to communicate anything you might want to at this point. I know we're 2 days into school. Has it been a good 2 days or?
Yeah.
Yes? That's good to hear. Anything's not working so good?
I mean, my biggest concern is the bus commute.
The best what?
The bus commute. So I won't speak for everybody else, but personally, my daughter was on the bus for an hour and 20 minutes the first day of school and an hour and 10 minutes the second day of school.
Tell me exactly where you are. And I'm not trying to make excuses at first, but we do have some bus drivers that have called off, and we've had a couple move on, so we're in the process of hiring. But I want to make sure it's just not your
Sure,
commute.
and I appreciate you not making excuses. I do just want to point out that there's been months to prepare for this, and
Right,
that
so-
doesn't seem to be the case. So we live up Dry Branch, up Cabin Creek. My daughter gets on the bus, the elementary school bus, at 6:20 a.m. She rides all the way up to Sharon Dawes Elementary School, waits for the elementary school students to get off the bus, then rides all the way back out of Cabin Creek, where she switches to another school bus, and then drives to DuPont Middle School. So she's on the bus for an hour and 20 minutes, an hour and 10 minutes today, to get to a school that's 20 minutes away. And I mean, just frankly, that's unacceptable. It's over the 45 minutes legal time. You need more buses in our area, and you guys have known you need more buses in our area.
So we have enough buses, we don't have enough drivers. And we had, like I said, some that even quit on Thursday and some that didn't show up on Friday. But we do have people in the pipeline. It really wasn't lack of planning, but it happens when somebody does it at the last minute. But I'm gonna see what we can do about working on those switching and it taking so long. So thank you. Were you able to talk to anybody at the transportation?
I've talked to the bus driver and one of the supervisors at the main transport station. I mean, you know, this has been their plan from the beginning, and quite frankly, I mean, they also are not getting to school until 7:35, whenever their school doesn't start until starts at 7:45. I also heard that part of the problem is that there was a refusal to move DuPont's start time because the elementary school starts at 7:35 or somewhere around there at Sharon Dawes. So the DuPont school starts 10 minutes later, and it's just like the buses don't have enough time to make their routes in between the elementary school starting and the middle school starting.
Yeah. So one of the things that, and I don't know that it'll be popular or unpopular, but one of the things that we are going to talk about at area LSIC meetings is changing start times next year. I started too late to do it this year, and I do want to talk about it. A few years ago, well, I think it's probably been 7 years now, high school started first, then middle schools, and then elementary schools. And for some reason, I don't need to get all that, they changed it. They thought high school students needed to sleep longer, it would reduce the tardies and all of that. Well, that really hasn't been the case. What concerns me the most is elementary students waiting for the bus at 6:30 in the morning when it's dark out. At least middle schools and high school students are taller for that part. The second part is, it's almost, I don't want to say a punishment, but for kids who participate at the high school level, it's very difficult because they don't get out of school until 4 o'clock. Then they have to go to ball games. Football season's not too bad, but soccer, basketball, baseball, where they have multiple games during the week, they miss their last period classes if there's travel time for away games. We have a number of high school students that have to work, I'm sorry, my back is to you, that have to work to help support their family, and many of the businesses aren't hiring our high school students because they don't have enough hours to work. So we're going to talk about maybe switching some of those things, and I do think that will help widen the gap so that they can arrive better. That's our hope. But when I started, we didn't think it would be enough time for elementary parents to switch their daycare. I get many complaints from elementary parents saying their kids start so early in the morning, they finish at 2 or 2:30 in the afternoon, they have to find daycare till 5 or 5:30, and they don't see their kids very long because they have to go to sleep in order to start the whole process the next morning. So I do think they attempted to make a change for the better. I don't think it's been very successful, and you pointed out another reason. So I am trying to work on those issues, but I am going to try to work on this so that they can get there quicker.
Thank you.
Are there other buses you think that are having problems?
No, we had, well, the first day, of course.
Yes, the first day, I was there the first day.
But, I did have a pair, I think that first day, because I held the bus to make sure we kicked off the bus, I know the bus went to Sheen and came back and gave Riverside students instead of going and taking those kids home, but I think it was just the high school kids were waiting too long, but that's the only one that I heard of. I do know that there are some people concerned about the buses being late, but at the beginning of school, it's always going to be, you know, a little bit.
Yeah, we're day 2, but that's not an excuse. We're gonna work on it to try to make it better, for sure.
Now, the bus that Tommy was talking about that went to Shillian and had to come back, that's my husband's bus. And he had to do the same thing again today. 1308 picks the kids up at DuPont and brings them to Jamie and Shillian. He delivers his James River Road and his Little Creek kids, and then has to come back over here because it's 3:40 when he drops them off. They get out of Riverside 3:45. If he would go straight and finish his run, he would have to go all the way through Chesapeake to the head of Winifred, which would put him over here at 4:40. So he brought his middle school kids back with him today, picked the high school up, and delivered them all at the same time.
That's the only one.
Okay. We'll work on those 2 for sure. And if you have others, you can shoot me a message and I'll try to work on it. I don't know how quick, but we'll work on it. How about other concerns that you might have so far? Yes, ma'am.
Ours concerns buses as well. At Bell Elementary, we are dismissed at 2:15. We have students until 2:55 who are waiting for a bus. We have 2 buses that they don't show up before 2:45, 2:50. We have 1 bus that doesn't show up before 2:30.
Are they doing multiple runs, you know, Danielle? We can have first, right?
I've addressed this for a couple of years and nothing seems to come about.
I know at least one of the Bell buses picks up at Maple Park and then goes to Bell and then goes to DuPont.
Gotcha, I figured there had to be a different run, so.
And I think 1 goes from Cedar Grove.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's a special education bus, that's different.
Right.
And those are a little bit more limited, but, okay. Yes, sir.
I just have one suggestion.
Okay,
For next year, publish a bus route and time. My son got on at Bell and ended up down at DuPont and at the background. Other than that, everything is just fantastic. We just moved into the area.
okay, great. Do you know if he has the bus app on his phone? Does he have a phone or on his iPad? We do have a new bus app that, of course, the server was down first thing this morning, but typically it's worked well the last couple of days. But that may help with that, especially if we have buses that don't run and has to switch numbers.
That happened on Friday and
He didn't know.
everything is okay now.
Okay, okay, good.
That bus app is really good for kids because I had people call us the other day when our bus was late. Our buses were running a little bit later. So they were just concerned that the bus, they didn't know where it was.
Right.
They couldn't get to the bus app. So I think once everybody gets that, it'll help out.
I downloaded the bus app and I got approved for it this morning, but I couldn't get it to work this afternoon.
Well, I know this morning that whole site was down. The company owns the server, but it was fixed by 10 o'clock this morning. So I'm not sure what might have happened, but I'll double check to why it wouldn't happen.
Who do they contact, Ms. Potter, if they're struggling and we can't get them on?
On the app? I'm gonna say transportation office, but I will also say technology. And I'm forgetting the number right off the top of my head. Or if they contact you, we could go to the technology
Yeah,
office
I can
as
give
well.
them numbers. I just wanted to make sure
Yes.
that we're sending them in the right direction if
Yes.
we can't get them on.
Travis Martin and or Leah Sparks, and then Jason Redmond. So it's everybody's calling the bus garage at one time. They'll say no, they don't ever answer, but really they're trying to troubleshoot the people they're talking with. So if you hang up or just keep calling and let it ring, they will get to you. I know that's not the best thing, but there's 3 people that answer the phone there. So
Could I make a suggestion?
yes, ma'am.
I was in transportation for about 24 years before I
Uh-huh.
took the job coach job. And I know things change when, everything's updated, technology comes out. But back when the drivers done their own schedules, things ran smooth. The drivers are not able, we have written out Jamie's schedule 4 different times over the summer and turned it in, but when they turn it in to the one that does it, and she puts it in, it comes out wrong. So if the drivers could input their own schedules, I think the runs would go a lot smoother because the drivers are the ones that knows the runs. Like she put a Cabin Creek run in and she had him in Boone County because that's what the system kicked out.
Okay.
And like Jamie has handwritten his, but when it comes up on his iPad, the iPads they
Right.
have now, it does the route for him.
Right.
It doesn't even have him with any middle school at all
Okay.
on his run. So if there's a way that maybe what the drivers turn in, I think that would help.
Okay. I'll check. I don't know the answer to
Right.
that question, but I'll check. How about academics so far? Everybody feel good about what's happening in the classroom so far? Anybody have any questions, concerns? Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry.
That's what we're here for.
I have 2 notes. One is that I think communication regarding the buses moving forward would be a tremendous help because we as parents are left feeling out of control and have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. But I'll put that aside. I just want to know how many students are legally allowed to be in the classroom because one of my daughter's largest classes has 37 students in it.
What school?
DuPont Middle. And it's a science class.
Science class, that is the class, it will not have There are a lot of students in the classroom, that's the classroom that we are taking students out of for interventions. Social studies, the climate science, the kids are registered in that class. However, there will be kids pulled out of those classes every day, so there'll probably be between 5 and 6 kids in each class. Science and social studies pulled out, which will drop that number down to 25, 26
Okay.
in those classes. Because every day there'll be certain kids going to intervention during that time.
Okay, thank you.
Every day.
Interventionists cannot
Every
get
single day,
grades,
every day.
so that's why we had to do it
It's
that
a
way.
schedule, they just can't get a grade for a class. So
Okay.
they're pulling them, doing the intervention, and it is every day that they'll get pulled out.
That makes me feel better, because, I mean, these East Bank kids are going from classrooms of 15 students to 25 plus students, so it's a lot different for them.
Sure.
There's not gonna be as much one-on-one
Right.
that they got before.
Right. They will have Title I support at DuPont, so as they're talking about push out or pull in, there will be opportunity for some one-on-one, at DuPont as well, so.
We have plans for everybody to get some sort of intervention and support, whether they're high level or middle or low level. We're working on it, and there'll be a schedule.
Great, thank you so
And
much.
I'm gonna go back to your transportation question about communication. What more would you like communicated?
I mean, I think we should have gotten a text or some type of communication when we found out that the buses were gonna be late. Because my daughter had volleyball, we ended up being a half hour late for volleyball because we couldn't plan accordingly. Yes,
You
the
did-
first day of school.
So you didn't know it was late the first day? is
No,
what you're
not
saying?
until DuPont Middle had posted about
Okay.
it, which we appreciate.
And we didn't post that until after we got everyone on the bus.
Okay, yeah.
It is hard in the middle of it when you're trying to get kids in the right place to think about, oh, I should do that. It is hard.
Yeah, I get that totally. And also, I just think, had we, like, I would have had liked to know what my daughter's bus schedule was going to be without having to call and track down and figure out what was happening. So I was the one that had to call and figure out that my daughter, even though her school doesn't start until 7:35 and it's only 20 minutes away, that she had to be waiting for the bus at 6:20 a.m. You know, so it's like, if there was like a Facebook page for the buses that gave us communication, or this is what our routes are going to be. I mean, our bus driver is phenomenal. He's amazing. We love him so much. And he posts on his personal Facebook page to let us know, because there's no other form of communication.
Okay, that's a good suggestion. I mean, our schools have a Schoology, maybe I should have a transportation one. I don't know how they're gonna keep it, updated accurately, but that's something that we can work on for sure.
I know
think that's a good
Riverside
suggestion.
posts one every day.
Yeah.
My son goes to Riverside and we get one on his Schoology every day of the bus changes and things like that, like the numbers change or anything.
That comes from
John
Jason
B.
Redmond. when
Yeah,
he
it does, yeah. Jake, the director of transportation usually does it and puts it on the school page instead of coming from the transportation page. But we can work on that, certainly improve it. Do you have the bus app?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
It was like I think Valerie said, it wasn't working. Like the app itself was working this afternoon, but the bus wasn't showing
Yeah,
up.
it didn't show up.
Yeah.
And I asked Richard about it, and he said that all of his Wi-Fi and everything's connected, that it should have showed up, but it's not.
Okay, I'll double check that too. We also had to call into the company, because, day 2, the site already being down, we were like, oh gosh. So, we're kind of working through those processes. Anybody else? Yes.
Okay, so my friend is at work, she works evening shift, but her daughter's having a hard time transitioning to middle school, so she has a few questions she asked me to ask on her
Okay.
behalf. So she says that the hallways are crowded and they actually have like blue tape down in the halls to guide them because of the overcrowding. And she wonders like what the number is and if that's necessary. So that's one question. And then the other is, why they can't use the phones at lunch.
So the board passed the policy, the State Department said we had to have a ban on cell phones, and it did allow districts to have some leniency in terms of a total ban or allowing it some. The administrators, the board members, folks that we talked to felt that the high school students was a little bit more mature than middle school students, and everything has to be up in middle school. High school, they can have it in class changes and at lunch. That's just how the policy panned out. I will say Forceman Middle School has been a couple years, no cell phones. There's been some other middle schools. I don't think you all had it.
No, good.
And the students really talk about how great it is. It reduces the drama, reduces the fighting. It keeps them a little bit more focused on academics instead of checking just all their great posts during the day. And then, of course, elementary students really haven't ever had them. It's never really been an issue. So it's really been our secondary level students. And like I said, DuPont, Horseman, I think Andrew Jackson. I'm not sure about Westside.
We were in Castle.
Yeah, there were a number of middle schools. It wasn't a county policy though. So I've told this story a lot. I meet with students at the end of each year, and the focus group of students I met with at Horseman, one young man told me the worst day of his 6th grade year was the last day of school. And I thought, well, that was strange, and I asked him why, and he said they were allowed to use their cell phone that day, and nobody talked to each other. They were just on their phone the whole time. And so we are trying to approach this more as a teachable moment on how to, develop their communication skills, how to develop better relationships, and focus more in the classroom. But the board, we did vote on a policy. We felt that it was more of a maturity level of students being able to have that maturity to put the phone back in, and they felt middle school students might struggle with that. And middle school students don't have much time in between their classes. They go from one place to the other.
2 minutes.
2 minutes? Yeah, there really wasn't enough time, and we felt that would create more of an issue for them being late than not. And your other question was? The hallways.
Well, first of all, it's not safe. The hallways are just lined with blue tile. And
Okay.
that was, being a religious, before I got there, when they transition between classes, it's on the blue tiles. It basically makes them walk in a straight line. Today and Friday, of course, we're transitioning. They're getting used to this. But our transitions were happening to occur all at the same time. It wouldn't make a difference if there was just 200 people in the building. If everybody transitioned at the same time, it would look more crowded than what it actually is. But we have it set up so there's spaces in between, so only one class is transitioning at a time. The last 2 days of school happened like that because teachers were still getting used to the schedule. But like today, for example, we had 6th grade. I think 6th grade was going to lunch. 8th grade was coming back from related arts, and 7th grade was leaving. So it's kind of all get clustered right there. But we have that fixed. It was just a matter of bad timing today. It's going to get smoother and easier as we get more into the schedule and people understand what we're trying to do.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, she's basically my niece, and she's really anxious and crowded, so that was a big concern for her. And then her mom asked how many students are at the school.
I mean, it's right at 600.
And I think you're the largest, though.
Like school?
Yeah,
Oh,
middle school.
We're third, I believe.
Yeah. There's 2 schools that have more students than DuPont. So it is going to take them a little bit of time getting used to the new procedures, the new class changes, the new busing, all of that. But we're going to continue to work on it until it meets everyone's.
And they need to understand, this is the first time the schedule for DuPont Middle School has ever changed since it became a middle school. I mean, it's really the first time it's ever changed, so we're getting into it a little bit.
Yeah. And for anybody here, if any of your students are having a difficult time getting readjusted to school, we have a lot of services available to students. If they just go to the office and ask to talk to the counselor, they can hook them up with the right services to make them feel comfortable at school, so that they don't feel anxious or anything, tutoring, anything of that nature. Every school has things in place to help students, so you might encourage her to do that, or even send a message on Schoology to one of the administrators. They'll be happy to work with her.
And I went through consolidation last year, and it
Uh-huh.
was difficult because the kids that came to my school had to learn
New
our way of
procedures.
doing things. But they did, and it went smoothly. And I'm sure it will at DuPont as well. It's just an adjustment. It's an adjustment for parents, it's an
I was here the first year
adjustment for
Riverside
students.
opened, and you wanted to see some chaos. Some of you all were students here and some teachers. And I don't mean to say that lightly, but it is. It's a learning curve for everybody. I think each time we do it, we get a little bit better, but there's just still some things that we have to work through. But no, we will work with you. If the buses are still an issue, you call me, we're gonna try to work through it, okay? I don't want anybody to feel like, just because I'm having this meeting, and tell you it's gonna improve, if it doesn't, we'll continue to work on it. Other questions or concerns?
The new elementary school
Yes.
is on track.
So the new elementary school is on track. We haven't had a meeting yet. We have a number of people in here that are on the committee. If you want to raise your hand, I saw a few people here. Yes, they're on the elementary school committee. At the end of the year, the students voted on a name. We can't decide the name. The board members have to approve the name, and I feel like that's happening in September. On a board agenda, we'll let everyone know. ZMM, who is the architect, are on track with drawings from the summer. Our committee will get back together. They feel that they will begin breaking ground in the fall to start this on the school. And we don't really like to give dates because if supplies don't come in, or I don't know, the whole thing of building is sometimes difficult. But we are on track. I know that the youth soccer league that uses that field currently, I did tell them they could use it through the fall, but in the spring we will be moving their league out here. So I feel like everything will be well underway then, is why ZMM said that the fall should be the last games there. So that's how I'm gonna judge it. But I think, does anybody want to add that's on the committee? Yes.
I think they've done a great job communicating. We've had several meetings at the different area schools, the new schools that have opened up, and we've got to see some of the preliminary drawings of the new school. They really are listening, taking in the advice from the committee that is going, and we have had a lot of sit-down meetings, and it's really interesting to go in, and when they have put all this effort in, and right in front of us, they're moving walls, they're changing locations of areas and adding stuff that the committee is suggesting. So
we have a couple of representatives, the administrator and at least a teacher and a special educator from every feeder school that will go into the new elementary school. And so they come and we talk about things, and then they go back to their staff and present what we talked about, and then the staff gives them input to come back to us, so that we don't have, everybody throwing all the ideas at once. We kind of consolidate into one, but we very much are taking the direction from those people that will be teaching in the building that have the students, their students' best interest in mind. So we're really excited about it. I think the students will really have a nice place to learn. Not that their places now aren't nice, but it will be newer, more modern, something that the Eastern End could be very proud of as this high school, I feel.
I have a suggestion for that.
Yes.
I'm not on the committee.
Yes.
But I live in DuPont City, across the street from where it's going, and it may not be set in stone, but I think before you firm up plans, you need to take a school bus into DuPont City and try to run the entrance and the exit.
So that is a good suggestion. Actually, we've had multiple people make those suggestions. A school used to be there, and I understand people didn't park the way they do now. But ZMM, who is the architectures, they have put schools all over the state, and they work with the Department of Highways or the cities. I think this would be the Department of Highways in DuPont. They will come in and do a road field test, so to speak, and we will work at that point to get variances or changes. We know that's coming. That's happened. ZMM said that happens in a lot of communities when they build a new school.
When the junior high was there, I went to school with
Yes.
there, and it went in on Main Street and out on Second, back to Main Street.
Yes.
And I've heard, whether or not it's set in stone, that they're doing it different this time. They're still gonna come in Main Street, but they're gonna come out the street I live on. And the street I live on, 2 cars can't pass on that street at the same time, and that's where my concern comes in.
We do have all of that thanks to some
I
of
live
the
there
in your
too,
neighborhood.
and I've been bringing it up every single meeting.
So, I won't be in charge of the traffic. We don't really have say of the roads. We do have say of the property where the school will be built, but our architects work very closely with state roads, city roads, all that planning to alleviate those concerns. So I do know they have a plan of action for that. I don't know what the outcome will be, but we do have a plan of action.
They also have, ZMN also has a Facebook page that you can go on and see, like, we just finished a new school, can't remember where, but you can look at how they design schools and spaces and things too.
I just really love to have I love the committees that the admin and the teachers are involved, and as a parent who will have a baby in the brand new school, and a baby that's currently at Bell Elementary, I think it would be really great to have a parent committee and even a student committee. It's that buy-in, you know. I'm the one that goes to Walmart and I'm like, well, you know, and they're asking, and I would love to be able to say, well, I saw this, or this is the plan of it, or this is what it looks like.
We will.
So we also have, like, our PTO president is one of our members, and our LSIC president is one as well.
So they should be communicating
Yes.
back with you.
Okay.
And so if you're maybe missed that meeting or something, I think if you contact the principal, she can fill you in. But we do have that. We are letting the students pick the names. I know if you all could have seen all the comments on social media, how stupid are we letting kids do that? But my big story about that is, because the babies do attend, was this school, I think you were one of the coaches. The coaches about died when the students picked the colors. Because they kept saying, I'm going to look like Barney out on the football field. But those kids watched Barney growing up, and purple was it. It's Barney purple.
Well, the new colors have already been picked, they're hot pink.
Yeah, now she likes hot pink. I'm sorry that's going to happen,
Everyone's like,
but we are going to allow the students to make those choices, because it is their school. They will decide the name, they will decide the mascot, within reason. We're not gonna let them pick, something like pick your nose school or whatever. But, there was a whole voting process in place so that everybody had an opportunity. Even parents could vote, the students' vote, I think, counted more than parents' vote, the whole thing, was on there. Yes, ma'am?
I'm a principal at Cedar Grove Elementary, and I went through a 3-year construction with ZMM. They were there every week. They had meetings with me. They had meetings with my staff. 100% have nothing to worry about. They're amazing. The county works with us. Staff move 3 different times. Everyone, like Kim Posey was saying, the students are resilient. They're going to adapt. I had construction in the hallways, things coming out of the roof, and we made it out of 3-year construction. The school's absolutely beautiful. You're going to be very proud of where your children go to school. It's an amazing, unbelievable building, and the playground. If you ever have an opportunity to drop by Cedar Grove,
Go in and
the
look.
whole
It's
outside
amazing.
has been redone. The inside has been gutted and redone. We took down the gym, which the parents were upset about, and we incorporated it in the front entrance, so the gym is present. It's not.
It looks amazing.
But we made a memory wall of our gym, and the parents were happy to see that was part of the school. So anyone's welcome to come in and see the school, and you have nothing to worry about. You're in good hands. Dr. Potter's got it under control. You guys have done an amazing job. And I'm very proud to say I've been at that school for 12 years in the eastern end of that county, and it's something that our eastern end can be proud of. It truly is. The kids are happy, the teachers are happy, and kids want to come to school in a new building.
You have something? Yes, sir.
Yes, Dr. Carter. I too live across the street. A lot of us. We're all in the square there. But one concern, and I think that you'll figure out with the traffic control. I think that'll come as time goes on and figuring those things out. But I think one thing that neighborhood people are concerned about is the infrastructure that the county has in place, because we have a lot of drainage issues without the new school. We have a lot of water issues, that water mains breaking all the time. We have a lot of just things that are the county's responsibility, not the school system's responsibility. And I think we're concerned that we're going to get this big, beautiful school, and then 700 kids need to flush, and then kaboom.
I mean, that happened in an elementary school today. So, I will say in these older buildings too, we experience all of those issues. But I do know with the construction companies, they work with all of the utilities. They have to go through studies to make sure that it can support
Right.
what they're putting in.
Right.
Will there be some hiccups along the way? I'm sure. But hopefully they'll be few and far between. That's what I'm hoping.
Well, that's what our hope is too. 'Cause
Yeah.
We want to see a beautiful new school there, but,
Yes.
you know, there are some concerns because it's been nearly 30 years since the school sat on the property.
Sure.
So it's, you know, the neighborhood has gotten used to a big green space.
I know.
So,
Well, your committee is doing a really great job in trying to suggest the exterior of the building to blend in with your community. While it's gonna be a new structure, we're gonna have some green spaces, we're going to make it feel like it's in a neighborhood, not a big, square building.
Right.
They've been very clear about that. They've been very clear about the materials on the outside of the building, that it is, you know, pleasing to the community, that it's not gonna be something that's gonna stick out.
so even the back of it will be aesthetically pleasing.
Yes, because you
So I'm
know.
going to face the back of it.
I knew you probably had a ticket there. There's going to be different drop-off points for different sets of students, so it will look nice all the way around. It will look nice all the way around. I've not seen a school that ZMM has designed that hasn't been phenomenal. I mean, truly. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to go to the new Clendenin Elementary School. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And ZMM did that school. They did, of course, Cedar Grove. They did Edgewood. You know, that's a few years older, but I think you'll be pleased. That's our hope.
All right.
Yes.
and that- oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was just gonna say, I'm being greedy, but,
That's okay.
so you have plans, you know, for the Bell Elementary, or for the new, I say it Bell Elementary, but the new elementary school, and we have DuPont now that has East Bank and DuPont, we have Cedar Grove redone. What other plans do you have for this area? We're always here, and we're the ugly stepchildren of the
Well, I
area.
think
and
Eastern
was
Ed's
like-
really getting a lot of money. I don't know. There's
That's
some
why I'm
people
saying
around.
I'm being greedy, what other plans?
Yes.
Especially since you were here for many years, you know,
You
what
know,
do you
the
see
Eastern
the
End
future?
holds a very special place in my heart, truly. And so we do want to make sure that we're building this end of the valley as much as we can. It is unique in the fact that you have two sides of the river, so there are some complications with that. I will say to all attendance areas, Kanawha County's population is dwindling, and the one part of the population that's dwindling is school-age students. And so in Kanawha County, we have many schools, and some of the schools have smaller classrooms, so much so that it isn't economically feasible to keep those open. So with that being said, we also have constraints about transportation. So I'm gonna have to communicate to everybody, unless we have business and industry coming into the valley, we will continue to see schools consolidate and close because we can't keep it, we can't operate. We can't employ that many people with the classroom sizes being so small. So we don't have any further plans right now in this area, but we will continue to invest in the schools that we have here. So,
Well, that's not just like buildings and stuff like that, but just like even renovations, making sure we have, we have some of the, I think, the greatest teachers up here.
You
But,
do.
can we not, make sure that that happens and they stay here? And just, getting the classes here that, as some people will say GW has or South Charleston has, we want to have that here as well as, the clubs and all of that stuff.
absolutely. So we are investing more money at your football field and track here at the high school. We had a community member come and express some need. We put some money into the football field there as well. And then, of course, our levy that you all voted for is providing turf for the fields that everyone can use, at the high school. As for teachers, I taught here when we first opened, and sometimes it's hard to keep teachers because the teacher's salary isn't, it's not super high. And if someone lives somewhere, if a job comes open closer to where they live, they'll typically apply for that just to reduce their gas cost. But I know the principals in this area do everything possible to keep their best teachers. It makes my heart feel so good when I come and see so many former students that are teachers now. They're giving back into their community. I see former students coaching, they're investing back in their community. That's a wonderful feeling. So as for class offerings, they can offer any classes that any of the other high schools do if enough students will take those classes. Because you can't have a certain class that you might be thinking of. I'll just say crochet. You can't have a crochet class with 2 people and have a teacher there when the other class has 35. So when they do course requests at the high school level, it will be based on what students schedule for. Now, the really good thing about high schools now, some of you that have elementary students, you can look forward to this. Every high school is offering many online college courses. I know I have 4 daughters. The comparison from my oldest daughter to my youngest daughter in terms of college courses they could take, my youngest daughter graduated high school and had 3 years of college when she was done because of the amount of classes that she could take through Marshall and WVU online. And sometimes I question whether you should do that because she was graduating college early, but she was going on another step. But the tuition for the online courses are free. So if they can fit that into their high school classes along with their college courses along with their high school classes, that saves them money if they go into college. And then, of course, the Career Tech Center here in Carver and Ben Franklin, because we run buses to both career technical schools, is a big draw for many of our students that want to be certified in a certain position and go on to work right from there. So I do think that they could take advantage just about anything that any other high school does. Some of the other high schools might have some specific courses. You mentioned GW, they might have more AP courses, advanced placement, than Riverside. But we can continue to work with the elementary and middle schools to get the students ready for the AP courses and encourage them to go in that. It'll be based on what they choose to take in order to get those teachers in there. Okay? Yeah.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why are they charging for the light credit recovery? I don't know that, I mean, I probably could ask Juanita, but I don't understand why.
Yes.
Because
we charge for credit recovery because every student has an opportunity to take the course first and pass it. And we have found over the years, if we just allow students to continue to fail courses and then take it without any type of investment, they continue to fail it, continue to fail it, continue to fail it. But when they have to pay for it, they tend to put a little bit more effort into passing it. Now, we do say if you have difficulty making payments for courses, to see a counselor and administrator, and we have things in place that we can help students with
well, I'm gonna come talk to y'all tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's why be my problem, because you always say graduate with your cohort, but
You get a gold star.
there's no way I can afford to pay for her credit recovery.
We'll work with you. So our goal in Kanawha County, in case you all don't know, is students will graduate with their cohort. And that just basically means when they start kindergarten, they're going to graduate with their class. And we want to keep everybody on track all the way through. We want to teach them at grade level standards and help them get there. But we need parents' help with that because it all can't happen in a classroom. It really has to happen in the evenings. If your child's struggling some in something, call us. Let's figure it out. Let's get them the help they need, or we can help you get the help that they need to make them graduate. It just can't happen in a school day. It's a lot of work, and it's okay if a student fails, but we've got to empower them to make the right decisions so that they can move forward from
She's
that
got an
failure.
IEP, and I mean, going from middle school to high school, she struggled last
Yeah,
year.
sure.
Really bad. And now, I'm even threatening her this year. I'm like, you fail anything, you're going to MCA. Like, that is it.
We don't want her there. We want
But
her here.
now, I'm like, I'm willing to, like, help her because I see where she's struggling.
Great.
I've got her in resource classes because
Okay.
she just can't keep up with the workload.
These folks right here will help you
Oh, yeah.
develop a strong plan for your daughter. I
I'm
guarantee
see y'all
it.
tomorrow.
We'll be here.
I'm gonna take my 15-minute break and go to your office.
Are there other questions or concerns or
She is-
comments? Yes, sorry.
Okay.
You had your hand up.
We're from the other side of the river.
Yes.
Chesapeake.
Yes.
So got a whole new school.
You did?
Did great.
Yes.
We're making it work.
Yes.
We have one piece of playground equipment, and we have one swing set that we've had forever. I don't know how many years. We've been promised equipment from Weimer. But now we're into year 2, and
I
we
know.
still have.
I'm going to continue
You
the
don't ask
promise.
much.
I'm going to continue the
We
promise.
don't ask
It
for new
is
school
coming.
or renovations or.
Just move that
It is
playground.
coming, and we do need to do some renovations at your school as well. But I'm going to make myself a note because we talk about it each week. Our maintenance folks do need to move the stuff.
I understand that.
And it's been a hard summer, but
I just feel like we didn't get
yes, I
much
agree.
of anything when we merged.
I agree.
We didn't even get help moving our. They dropped all our stuff in the cafe, and we all had to move it all over the building. It was a really long summer last summer, and we didn't get anything. So
I'll work on that.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes,
ma'am.
one question.
Sure.
Stop being the squeaky
No,
wheel.
no, you be the speaker girl. That's what we're here for.
I've heard that there's plans to put a plastic recycling plant right across the road here. Have you guys investigated the potential environmental harms that could be in
And
our
that's the-
area right beside high school?
I don't have any knowledge of that. Do you have any knowledge?
Yeah, I think it's called Clean Seas is the name of the company, and they came and talked to me about it. They broke ground, I guess. I had a grand opening, but you know, they're wanting to be open as to what is going on with that process of turning plastics that are unrecyclable into a fuel. And it's, you know, I don't know, I'm a social studies teacher, so I don't know the chemistry part of it, but, you know, it's something that the state has signed off on. They've gone through and got all the permits that they have to, and, you know, it's an industry that's gonna employ 50 people, right off the bat. By December is when they were wanting to do that, so that's what I know. And they've come in, they've given us some help. They bought all of my juniors a tutor's biscuit for the SAT, and you know, they want to be a good partner. So as far as environmental stuff,
Yeah.
The DuPont plant is right down the road.
Yep.
You're not afraid of that, you're not afraid of that.
Yes, I have a question. Sure. I'm a numbers person, so I get that the turfs for the softball and baseball field have to be done at in increments. I don't understand though why it's not based on need.
They did base it on need, and they also based it on how much money the area's got for other things in the levy. So Mr. Crawford, who's over facilities, has this master sheet so that everybody gets a little bit of the pie instead of everybody getting everything at once and then next. But we will be on track for everything to be done by the end of the levy. The other thing is, once you get a low bid, or, you know, our turf company, they can only do so many at a certain time, and so unfortunately it has to go in phases. So I don't know if that answers your
But I
question.
don't hear of any other schools having to have their boosters fundraise to go pay for outside places to have our home ball game. Our kids don't even get to play on our home field. Very seldom. Am I right, Mr. Dickerson?
Baseball's worse than softball. I know if it rains, they're usually done playing at all for a week or more, maybe several years.
Riverside was the first area that got the football turf.
that's right.
So that's why your baseball and softball's coming last. I mean, that's just really, they just did a
Right,
reversal.
We've heard that.
What is it?
So it's not based on need then?
No, I think all of the schools had need for turf. Football, baseball, soccer, that's why the voters voted for it. I think everyone had a need for new turf. And so they started with the most need in football, and then from there, whoever went first in football went last in softball and baseball. So, it's just, I wish we could do it all at the same time, but we can't.
Well, I mean, I understand you have to do it in increments, but, I mean, this may not be true, but one of the things I was told was that, you know, Hoover opened, what was it, last year? And there was they had a brand new field for baseball, and something was wrong, something happened, theirs have already been replaced through the levy, is that true?
So they didn't have a field at all. When they built the field, they put the turf in when they built it. They didn't give them a dirt field and then go back and do it. It was a
Right.
part of their new build. There wasn't something wrong with it. It was just a part of their new build for the school.
Okay, well, we was told that there was a problem and it was being redone, and they've already got their part of it.
I'll double check.
Okay.
I don't
That's
wanna
why we were
speak
curious.
specific.
There was another, I think GW is before us and getting turf. They already have turf. So that's why we were wondering why it's not based on need.
So if a school already had turf that they raised their own money, our levy covers all turf, and they went opposite of what football, when they gave turf for football. So GW may have raised money for their first set of turf, but the levy turf is based on the second flip-flop of football. Am I making sense? I don't know if I'm making sense. That was the decision. Yeah. I don't know if it was right, but that's what they decided to do. Yeah. Other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So we realized that, you know, we're consolidating, so we're not gonna be investing a lot of money into the buildings that we have. But we still need some upkeep in some areas. Also, our playground did not get mulched this summer. And the mulch that we got was cedar mulch instead of the rubber mulch. And we usually get the rubber.
If you got cedar mulch, it may be because the rubber mulch hasn't come in yet, and they needed to put mulch down so the kids could be on the playground,
Okay.
and then you will get that.
Okay.
We have a little emergency. The grass cutters, the grass was growing under all of our playgrounds, and so they came in and fixed it so the kids could play.
Our kids are playing on the grass.
Do we,
On the mulch.
does the county contract the grass
Okay,
cutting
so the
out?
last 4 or 5, I don't know how many years it's been, we have contracted with grass cutting services. And it goes to the lowest bidder, right? And so not this year, but last year, they did a really pretty good job cutting grass. We had one bid this year, and I think they are struggling just like every other business in getting people to work and to work on a consistent basis. So our grass cutting services have been not as great as in the past, and I'm not faulting anybody, but that's the truth. So Travis Brotherton, who's over our maintenance department, is looking at some other options, because it's a huge contract for how much grass we have in Kanawha County. So we're looking at some other options. Maybe we have what we call custodian twos, they can do grounds work, and, you know, that might be a possibility for us, but we're still exploring the cost, for that, so. It is an issue, but we just had one bidder this year, so. Any other?
Okay,
Yes.
question on another new structure, some may not know about, the new bus garage.
Yes, ma'am,
I understand that it's going here.
it is.
My son's a freshman, plays football. Where are we gonna get a practice field? Because that's our practice field that they're building the new bus garage on. Where are we gonna get a practice field to practice on Thursday nights because soccer uses the football field?
Still have the soccer field.
Yeah. From my understanding, and I'll double check, the new bus garage is gonna be here from the building to where that like mound of dirt is, and
Right.
then there's a grass soccer field on the other side. From my understanding, Mr. Crawford's met with folks here, and we will be able to still have those practices with the new bus garage.
Okay.
That's our hope.
Yes.
Other questions? And we're also hoping that helps with bus transportation times as well, so it's not in the middle of East Bank trying to get in and out of that garage. It'll be a little more centrally located. Fingers crossed, we're hoping for that.
I also envision when we get the turf on the baseball field, because my baseball team uses the football field sometimes when they have to. I'm sure that the baseball would allow them to be on that turf as well.
I think there'll be enough areas, we're hoping. Other concerns? Yes, ma'am.
Just circling back to the school start time, how
Yes.
soon are you thinking that would take?
Next year.
And you said
High schools will go first, middle's usually always in the middle, and then elementary would be at the end of the year. And we'll get those times out. I don't know what those times will be, but they'll be different than this year.
What's gonna be done with the East Bank Middle School now?
So our goal has always been to either repurpose the buildings for something like at McKinley, we're gonna use that for a St. Albans South Charleston bus garage. We don't have a repurpose for East Bank. We did promise the city of East Bank that they could have the gym, the baseball field, and the football field, correct? And they are looking at trying to take the whole school. They're doing some studies to see if they can rent it out or repurpose it for businesses. But that will be, if the city doesn't want that, then we will look at selling that building. Because it costs, quite a bit of money to keep something maintained that we're not using, so.
And the town of East Bank has been using the football field
Good.
for Little League practices, and they
Great.
have bake sales and everything over there all the time.
We're also giving them the old East Bank bus garage area. Once we're done there, we're gonna tear that building down and let the town have that as well. So, we'd like to, remain good partners with all of our neighborhoods. That's our goal. At this end, when we consolidate schools, we don't have plans for every school, but I do know where Midland Trail is. Our plan today is to, sorry folks, tear that building down and make it a community soccer field for your younger soccer players. So we do have a plan for that. And as for the other schools, we just haven't gotten that far yet. We're still a little ways out, but we have talked to the soccer league about where we could relocate them.
And the Riverside Youth Soccer League does amazing keeping that field cut. They cut it all the time when the grass cutters don't come over and cut it.
They've been fantastic partners.
They have, so that's good.
Yes, fantastic partners. So we're just about heading on an hour, and I didn't want to keep you longer than an hour. I do just want to say a couple of things. Our goal is that students will graduate with their cohort. We need that here in this end of the valley like we do everywhere else. And that can happen if our students come to school every day and learn. So I'm encouraging you, I'm hoping you're one, I'm preaching to the choir and you have your students at school every day. But if your neighbor doesn't, or if your child is struggling a little bit to get to school on a regular basis, reach out to one of us so that we can give you help if help is needed. We want what's best for your child. Sometimes I think people think the school system is in opposition with parents, and we're not. We really want what's best for your child. It's, I say all the time, we want our youth to do more and do better than we have as adults. And we need to guide them in that process. And that's really why I do the work that I do, because I feel that it's important for our economy and for their future, And so I'd like to work together. I tell folks that I'm an email away. I'm at work every morning at 6 o'clock. You can call, although I've said that too many times now. Now I'm having people call and show up at 6 o'clock and I can't drink coffee in the quiet. I'm teasing. But if there is something that you are really frustrated with or you really want to talk about, start at your school level, and then you can always reach out to me as well. And then the last thing I want to talk about before we leave is snow days. That's the most negative time of the year. We will cancel school if the buses can't run. And I understand in Riverside, there are even areas within the Riverside area buses can run and some buses can't run. We will make decisions based on the entire county. If you live somewhere and it's not safe for your child to come to school and you don't want them to come to school and their bus isn't running, they can take a snow day, okay? It's not that we don't care about them, but our job is to go to school. So, saying how stupid I am on social media probably isn't going to change the decision. I am going to try to do things maybe a little differently. Maybe try to make a cutoff the night before if we're going to close school. And then if it doesn't snow the next day, then I'm stupid again because we closed school before the weather happened. So there's a no-win. So I can't make everyone happy. But I have told everyone, we're going to go to school. Our job's to go to school. We live in a state where there's snow. I've used the analogy all last couple of weeks. I live on top of a hill I hate to drive in the snow, I'm not very good at it. So when I think it's gonna snow, I park at the bottom of the driveway. And I know not everybody can do that, but you're the adult, you can make that decision. But then this child is also responsible for getting their makeup work if they're not here. Basically, that's it. And for as many times as we close school, there's those many students that need a warm place, they need a couple of warm meals. There's a lot more that just goes into this decision of having school or not have school. So I'm just gonna, talk to everybody about that. We're gonna do the best we can to make decisions, and I need you to make the best decisions you can for your child, and together I think we can make it through winter without calling each other names. That's my goal. We'll see how it works. We'll see how it works. Anyway, I'm so happy that you came. When I walked in with the news reporter, I said it's probably just going to be the two of us. I wasn't sure anyone would come. So thank you. I'm going to try to do this. We still are having area LSIC meetings, which are super important. That's when our board members come. But I wanted to give you a forum to just talk if there's something that you wanted to talk about. I will work on transportation. I will work on communication. You're all going to work on class sizes and transitions. I forget, you all are going to work on credit recovery. What else did we miss? We're going to keep everybody updated about the new elementary school. Oh, and the playground. I'm happy.
Another girl, Crystal, another girl.
All right. Okay. You all have a great evening. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Mr. Walker.
Yes.